your toes, spreading them, and then putting your toes down. And make an adjustment, just slightly coming forward and back, and maybe from side to side, just to make sure that your weight is balanced and spread evenly. And then if you lift and roll your shoulders back and drop them down away from your ears, you're consciously opening the pathways of energy that go through to the head. And just turn your head gently to one side. Bring it back to the center, and then just turn it very, very gently to the other side. And bring your head back to the center. Once more, lift and roll your shoulders. And inhaling, raise your hands gently upwards. I'm going to go off screen, but if you can see, I'm going to clasp my hands and then reverse them and bring them up. Really stretch up. Breathing out, let lightly go to one side. Your head, in theory, should be between your arms. I can see mine's not, so I'm automatically unbalanced. Bring your arms to the center, stretch up, and then very gently turn to the other side. Slightly better. Come to the center. Breathing out, just slightly turn, as little or as much as you would like. So Julie, careful on your back or lower back issues, just attention. Come to the center and gently breathing out, turn to the other side. It is a very gentle rotation, so you might just want to turn slightly less if any very lower back issues, and come to the center. And then lowering your arms, bring them to your waist. You're opening your lungs. By placing your hands on your waist, there's an encouragement to stand up straight, giving space within your torso. And separate your feet a little bit. Again, attention to lower back. I'm going to very gently bend my knees. And you'll see I'm putting my bottom away from me and just slightly bending my knees. And you're putting your abdominal control on. So Nicky is beautifully demonstrating the full chair pose, which can go into the lower back. Pressing your feet down, and then very, very gently coming up to the center. And lowering your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders once more. And then lift one arm. Press your foot down and raise your arm up and turn your head away from your arm. Inhale to the center and breathing out, lower the arm back down to your side. And then inhaling, raise your other arm. Press your foot down, stretch up. Breathe out, turn your head away from the inner arm. Inhale, come back to the center. And breathing out, lower your arm back down to your side. And still with your feet hip width apart, I'm going to take mine slightly further. Just start with a very familiar side to side. Just swaying gently from side to side, moving all your energies. I said yesterday that apart from a body movement, yoga also is able to reset your mind in that, which sounds like quite a bold statement, but in just letting go, even this, you can't really think of very much. So your mind is able to just disconnect from the stress thought patterns. And you might, and I'm sure you probably will reconnect to our stress patterns, but in just letting go for a few seconds, you break the pattern. So that when you reconnect to your pattern, it will be from a very slightly different perspective. So it's always very, very helpful. So this, the Easterns believe, moves all they classify 5 energies in the body. And the energy gate pathways are, there's more than 5, but just for ease of reference, there's one beneath your feet, there's one at the perineum, there's one at the diaphragm, and there's one at the throat area, which would create 5 areas. So you're moving all your energies. And energy not flowing is what causes stagnation of energy in the body. and stagnation leads to accumulation, and that can lead to disease and things that you don't particularly want. So this is a brilliant way just to reset the body. And then come to the center, and once more lift and roll your shoulders. Bring your thumbs together. Raise your hands up above your head, and just very gently sway a little bit from side to side. How much you want to sway and how often, or the speed, is entirely up to you. It's like a tree in the wind. Gives your body flexibility and loses the rigidity that sometimes we can get. And then lower your hands. Bring your hands in front of your chest, thumbs together. Again, you're opening your lungs, you're opening your energetic pathways under your arms, which connects to your lymph center. And then coming to however you want to come back to the mat. And we're going to start our yoga practice lying on our backs. One knee is going to be hugged into the chest, and the other leg can either be bent with the foot on the floor, or the leg can be stretched out along the mat. So coming to look very, very gently onto your elbows, come to lying. If you'd like support under your head, then please take that. One knee is bent. I'm going to bend my left knee so that my left foot is on the floor, and your right leg can either be extended along the floor, or for lower back issues, it might be easier to bend your right knee as well, which keeps your back bent and is an added protector for your back. So I'm going to start by hugging my left knee into my chest. Really nothing to do here, just enjoy that gentle hug. And again, how much you hug in towards your chest is up to you. Check that your chin is vaguely parallel to the floor, that the back of the neck is extended, which allows the spine to have a free flow of energy all the way up to the head. And this variation on a pose called Apanasana, Apana is one of the foundational energies. We talked about 5 energies when we went from side to side. So the Apana is the base energy, and this is where it all starts. So it's excellent for lower back issues because you're stretching, in my case, along the left side. And while you're here, just extend your left heel while you're hugging your left foot in towards you, and relax your foot, maybe point your left toes away from you. Extend your left heel, and either relax your foot or carry on pointing your toes away from you. And again, extend your heel. If you do decide to point your toes away from you, the stretch on the top of your foot, your left foot, actually is activating into the lymph system represented on your foot in reflexology. And then very gently start to circle your ankle. You can perhaps use your big toe to trace a circle in your imagination. But you're beginning to activate the energy pathways. But incidentally, those pathways connect to energy meridians running throughout the body. So it's beginning to just activate your circulation in your entire body. And then very gently rotate your ankle in the opposite direction. And just notice where in your circle you might not make a complete circle, you might jump part of the circle. And then bringing your foot to the center, just stretch your toes out and just relax them and stretch them out again and relax them. And one last time, stretch them and relax them. Dropping your hands underneath your left thigh, clasping your hands. Just very, very gently extend your left foot up towards the ceiling. You can keep your left knee bent and feel the stretch along the back of your left leg, your hamstring, or all along your sciatic nerve, and you can increase that stretch optionally by extending your left heel. And then just relax and release your left foot, you're still holding your leg. And then you can, again, this is totally optional, walk your hands, exploring going up the back of your thigh, which will bring your left leg a little bit more towards you. You can stop where that's good enough. You're stretching your leg, you're beginning to go into the hip. You can stay here and enjoy the stretch, or if you want an additional abdominal tone, you can either just lift your head straight up on an exhalation, or drop a hand behind your head, supporting your head and neck. Breathe out for added control and support as you lift your head slightly towards your left leg. And you'll feel your tummy muscles go switch on. And then whichever option you chose, just release your head back down to the ground. And then very gently bend your left knee in towards you and turn your left knee out towards the left, placing your left ankle on top of your right leg, just above the right knee. And let the left knee open out to the left. And your left hand can just hold or gently rest on the inside of your left thigh. And you can just very gently, with your tips of your fingers, press on the inside of your left thigh and just wobble it slightly. So what we're doing here, this is a variation of pigeon, by the way. It's a hip opener, but a very gentle one. And with the left knee turned out, you're opening the partially the inner groin. It depends how much you open your left knee. And the groin forms, you've got lymph nodes within the left groin as part of your immune system, the lower part. And then very, very gently, just slide your hands to lift and support your left leg as you lift the left foot off your right. Just very, very gently place your left foot back onto the ground. Place your hands on your abdomen. You can spread your fingers and your feet are hip width apart or wider. And then just very gently let your knees drift both in the same direction. One way, your hip will lift off the ground. So my left hip is lifting as my knees go to the right. I bring my knees back to the center and then very gently let the knees drop over to the left as my right hip lifts. And you can do that a couple of times from side to side. You're massaging right at the top of your bottom, base of your back. There is a big acupressure point on that bottom that is very releasing. It's like having a tennis ball under your bottom. It can be very releasing to just massage across that area. And then bring your knees back to the center. Feel free to adjust your feet maybe a little bit inwards. Keeping your left foot either where it is with the left knee bend, or extend your left foot along the ground, whichever you feel is good. But for lower back issues, it's softer on the body to keep the left knee bent. And then transfer your focus to your right knee and right side as you just bring up your right knee and just gently hug your right knee into your chest. Not always, but often, more often than not, if you have lower back issues, it will reflect your dominant side. So if you're right-handed, you're more likely to have issues. As I said, not always, but more likely on your right side. And in which case, if you're doing this at home, you can spend more time on your right side. You start with your bad side first in an ideal world, and then carry on to the side that's Did I say bad side? You start with your good side first, and then you switch to your bad side and spend a little bit longer on your bad side. So there's nothing for you to do, just enjoy hugging your knee into your chest. It's stretching the lower back muscles over the bottom. And your body is not being asked to tense or support your weight. So it can begin to let go of the tenseness on your lower back. Just let it relax. And as we did with the left foot, just extend your right heel, your toes will go upwards. And breathing out, just either relax the right foot or carry on pointing the toes towards the ground, which will stretch the top of your foot. And again, breathing in, just extend your heel. And breathing out, just relax your toes back down again. And breathing in, toes up. And breathing out, toes down. And then begin to very gently circle your ankle, your right ankle in one direction. And then very gently begin to circle your ankle in the other direction. And then come to center, stretch your toes out and relax them. And stretch your toes out and relax them. And stretch your toes out and relax them. And now drop your hands behind your right thigh and begin to extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. You can keep a bend in your right leg if that's good for you. Again, anything to do with lower back, always quite helpful to keep your knees stopped, but it's how you feel. And then as you extend your foot upwards, you can begin to extend your right heel and just feel the stretch all the way along the back of the leg. Right the way down, you'll feel areas that are tight. And then relax, release your foot a little bit. And then you can begin, optionally, this is to walk your hands up the back of your right leg. Your right leg will come towards your face and just stay here when you've reached your limit. You're just letting the blood flow through. And then again, this is optional. You can either stay holding the right leg with both hands. As you breathe out, it's called reverse breathing. As you breathe out and lift your head up towards your right leg a little bit. Or you can drop the hand behind your head and let just support that weight. So lift your head up. It engages your abdominal muscles and then very gently release your head back down to the ground. And bend your right knee in towards you, turning your right knee out towards the right as you place your right ankle above your left leg. If it was straight on the ground, it needs to be bent. You're coming into figure of 4, which is a pigeon variation, and it opens up the inner thigh groin area, part of the lymph nodes of the lower area. So from here, you can very, very gently place your right hand on the inner right thigh and just bounce, just giving a slight movement within the hip. It's a very soft movement. You can make it harder by lifting off your left foot from the ground and holding your hands onto your left thigh. That opens out. You'll feel that in the outer right hip a little bit more. And if you find this very easy and you want to be stretched a little bit further, you can hold the front of your knee, your left knee, and that really stretches. And if you want to be stretched further, you can bring your left knee in towards your face. That's a harder stretch still. And there's a lot of theory about the legs. Some people like to extend both heels. Some people like to only extend the top right heel. Or some people don't extend either heel. So I think in classic textbooks they extend both heels. But again, play around and just feel what you suit you. But either way, relax your foot back to the floor. Lift your right leg, heel, ankle off your left foot. Place your hands on your waist, elbows slightly out. And just once more, windscreen wiping your knees from side to side as we did before. And this time you can involve the neck. Your head is being supported by the ground. So any movement from the neck is less of an effort. But if you don't feel you want to move your neck, you can still. But otherwise, as your knees go to the right, you might like to turn your head towards the left, either looking up or looking along the floor. Again, depending on how much movement you want to give your neck. And as I've said before, this forms part of the anti-somatic movement for, in this case, it is health, but it's also anti-aging, because it explores the relationship of the limbs, the legs and the arms to the torso. As we age, we can, as the muscles contract, come forward into a slightly bent over movement. So this just explores that relationship. And you can feel with your arms open slightly, and you're just moving with your hips. You're moving both the top and the bottom of your spine. And then now stretch both legs out flat along the ground, and your palms are hands down. Extend your right foot and your right hand, move it towards your right foot and relax and release. Extend your left heel and move your left fingertips towards your left heel and release. Extend your right heel, toes go up to the ceiling, and bending your elbow, raise your right arm up above you, stretching your right arm above your head. Your chin tucks in slightly, and it's a right side stretch. Relax everything as you breathe out and lower your right arm back along down by your side. And then extend your left heel as you bend your left elbow and stretch up above your left, along your left side, above your head. Your arms and your legs can be as stretched or otherwise as you would like. But just feel that stretch along your left side, and then breathing out, starting to release and lowering your arm and just relaxing and letting both your arm and leg relax out. Now extend both heels, toes up to the ceiling, engage your legs and raise both arms up above you. And as you raise your arms above you, let your right hand just hold your left wrist, stretch up, and then just encourage your right hand, just gently pull your left wrist slightly to the right. It's a slightly bent banana shape. And then just release back to the center, and breathing out, just relax as you release everything, lowering your arms back down to the ground. And then extend your left heel as you raise your arms back up above your head, and switch so that your left hand holds your right wrist, and just gently go to the right, left as you stretch out your right side. I hope I got that the right way around, but hopefully you'll know what I mean. And then just release back to the center and lower your hands back down alongside you. And then bend your knees, feet are on the ground. And just hands are down, palms down, a very, very gentle pelvic tilt. So flattening your back as if you're going to lift your bottom. You slightly press your feet and then release and relax as there's a little gap under your back. And then again, just a couple of times a pelvic tilt. It's like doing cat-cow, but upside down. So you're just beginning to get movement through your back, and this is actually excellent for remedial back care when someone's had a sore back or a stiff back. This is a great movement just to start exploring the back, because your back is totally supported by the ground, and so the movement that you can make is very much within your control. And as you're pressing your back, lower back to the floor, almost lifting your bottom and then releasing, you're almost encouraging the blood flows, like a tingling that goes through your lower back. And then very gently hug one knee into the chest, then hug the other knee into the chest. Just once more, rock gently from side to side, massaging across your lower back. And know that how much you pull your knees in towards your chest reflects whereabouts on your lower back you'll massage. So if the knees are further away from you to arm's length, you might massage slightly lower on your bottom. Whereas if you have your knees right into you, then you go slightly higher up on your lower back. And then very gently roll over to the side and come up to a seated position. If you want to rock up, then that's very fine as well. And come to a seated position. And come to Baddha, which is bringing the soles of your feet together. Again, there are so many variations for this. You can hold your shins. You can slide your hands down to your ankles. You can slide your thumbs into your soles of your feet and massage there. Or if you want a greater stretch, you can hold the big toes, and it brings you forward a little bit more. I'm going to sit with my thumbs on my ankles, and I'm just going to massage my ankle bones, which brings into a number of meridian points. And then I'm going to just lower my thumbs to massage the soles of my feet. And all the time, your inner thighs are once more open. So you're accessing the energetic pathways and lymph nodes of your lower body. There's a proliferation just around that inner groin area. And then just very, very gently bounce your knees, getting movement through. And then just slide your legs out into the V and feel that you can just lift up the flesh from under your bottom if you need to do that. And your toes are upwards towards the ceiling. And just have your hands either side to support you lifting up. And inhaling, raise your hands up. Tummy comes in, turn towards your right leg. Nicky might come straight forward, but for lower back, you might like to bend your elbows, slide your hands along your right thigh, and just stop probably midway along your shin. And just come and breathe. It's a slightly forward bend, which is calming for the nervous system. It's a slight rotation, which is realigning for the back as you slightly stretch the back muscles along one side. And you're also, of course, opening your hips a little bit. And then slide your hands back up. Hands either side, you come to the center. Press your hands down. Classically, you have your fingers pointing forward, but this is therapy, so just have your hands wherever they're comfortable. And just lift your chest. You can look up. If your chin allows it, you can lift your chin. Caution on your neck here. You might want to stay looking forward. And feel stretch as you lift up from your chest. Come back to center and inhaling, raise your hands up, turn towards your left leg, tummy slightly in. I'm going to bend my hands, but you're coming forward slightly as you slide your hands down your left side, midway along your left shin, to come to that very gentle forward bend. And then tummy engages, lower abdominal muscles engage to support your lower back as you slide your hands up and come to the center. And then just bring your hands forward centrally and just come forward slightly. And then slide your hands up. And just then lift and roll your shoulders. Hands either side. Slide your left hand out as you raise your right arm. You can either do a full stretch or you can bend at the elbow. Your chin tucks in, which protects your neck. And again, feel that lateral stretch along your right side. It's your intercostal muscles. Opening the right side of your rib cage. Tummy in, coming up. Slide your right hand out and either bend your elbow or just come straight up. Chin tucks in, it protects your neck. And then coming back. Sitting up. And then bring your feet together. Cross your right ankle over your left. Your left hand goes to your right thigh and your right hand comes behind you. Breathing in, sit up, and breathing out, turn. Your head is the last thing to turn, if at all. Breathing in, lengthen, and breathing out, turn. Inhale, come back to the center, uncross your legs, and cross your left ankle over your right. Your right hand comes to your left thigh. Reach your left hand behind you as you press down, inhaling, lengthening your spine, and breathing out, just turn to the side. Inhaling, lengthening, and breathing out, turning to the side. And then just very, very gently come back to the center, uncross your ankles, and just slide your hands down both legs with a very gentle forward bend. Coming forward like this is calming through the nervous system, bringing blood to the brain slightly, not too much. But it also gives space to the vertebra behind to encourage you to breathe more fully into your back. And your kidneys have the adrenal glands just above them, and it almost bathes the adrenal glands in I suppose, blood, energy flow. So it's very helpful for part of your stress response, not just for the head, but also for the adrenals. Slide your hands up, bend your knees, and come to kneeling on all fours into cat. So just start by moving your bottom from side to side. Your thumbs and second fingers are pressing into the ground, and you'll stretch your fingers out like you would stretch your feet out. The inner arms are the elbows almost facing each other to make sure that your arms are aligned properly in the shoulder sockets. And you're just moving your bottom from side to side. So now just gently make a very small figure of 8 with your bottom, but if you want to carry on from side to side, that's fine too. So you're just, how much you want to make a figure of 8 is up to you. So I'm hardly moving at all, but you might really want to bring your bottom almost back to your heels as you swirl round and come forward. It's a freestyle movement, and then come almost forward over onto your wrist. And noting which way your figure of 8 naturally forms, there is an invitation to reverse your 8, but you don't have to. So it's a mind exercise to see if your left and right brain hemispheres easily coordinate that movement. But don't worry if you don't get there. And then tucking your toes under in cat. Just slightly bring your bottom back towards your heels, only as much as you want to. You're opening under your toes and you're taking the weight of your body. It's controlled by your hands. So you could sit up on your heels, but this is a way of controlling how much you open the backs of your toes, stretch the backs of your toes. And then just release that. Tuck your toes and come very, very gently to a standing position. However slowly you need to. And just keep your knees bent, your feet are hip distance apart, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Use your hands to support you, particularly on the lower back. And when you come up to standing, lift and roll your shoulders. Just circle your wrists in the same way that we circle our ankles, and circle the wrists in the other direction. I wish I knew more about this, but each finger correlates to both an element, and it correlates to an organ, and correlates to an emotion, which is where fascinated with Indian dance, but I don't know a lot about it. So then just fingers together as you bring your fingers forward, open, backs of the hands together. And this particular movement almost opens the wrists in a slightly different way from just rotating them. The thumb represents ego. Third finger tends to, I think, relate to the emotion of anger and elements and planet of Mars, but systems can vary slightly. But anyway, it is a lovely, elegant movement. And then if you want to mess with your mind again, go backwards, hands together, bring your fingers back to you and rotate inwards and out. One of those things that is kind of a natural movement. And then very gently open your fingers and curl them in and flick them out and curl them in. Very good for anti-arthritis. And lower your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders once more and place your hands on your waist. So this is a balance, a very simple balance, just by lifting your heels. And it asks you can't think of much else when you're balancing. And then just very gently lower your heels and release your arms. Come to the top of the mat as we do a very gentle sweep to the sun. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart. Inhale, hands up. Neck problems, just look ahead. Otherwise, if that's good, look up and stretch your fingers out. Breathing out, really bend your knees, particularly good for lower back, to bend them, to bring your hands to the ground. You've got your support. And then second slide your right foot back, right knee on the ground. You could, if you wanted to, if you lift your knee up and stay in the plank. Left knee, foot goes back, you're in the cat. Then, if you want to, you can, this is optional, come into a straight line, very strong, if not just stay in cat and then bring your knees back down to the ground. Inhale, cat, dipping your back. Exhale, rounding, chin comes to chest. Inhale, dipping your back. Exhale, as you round, tuck your toes under and come to a downward dog. So you might want to bring your hands closer to you. Keep your knees bent as you lift up. Your bottom goes away from your wrists, and I'm going to spread my feet wider. Your heels don't have to touch the ground, but they aim towards the ground. So I bend my knees, I lengthen my back, and then I straighten my knees, but still keep them soft. And now I'm going to bend one knee and straighten it, and bend the other knee. So it's called walking the dog, one at a time. For lower back, you are opening your sacrum, so it is again really helpful. This pose, it's kind of quite supportive, and very gently bend both knees back down to the ground into cat, and moving your hands to the left gives you space to lift up your right foot. Hands then come either side of your right foot. Tuck your back left toes under, engage your abdomen towards your spine a little bit to protect your lower back. Lift up your back left knee and step or slide your left foot to your right foot. Hands go on your shins. As you press your hands into your shins, breathe in and just lengthen. Feel there's a line from the tailbone all the way to the top of the head, the chin slightly tucked in. Breathe out, bend your knees and your elbows go out to the side with your curling in. Inhale, press your hands on your shins to lengthen along the spine. Stay here as you breathe out, and then breathing in, bend your knees, press your feet into the ground. You can use your hands if you need to support you as you roll up to standing. Straighten, and then inhale, either looking up or looking straight ahead, according to your neck. Stretch your fingers out. Your thumb comes towards your head, your little fingers go away from you, and then breathing out, lower your hands along both sides. Lift and roll your shoulders and clasp your hands behind you. Aim the knuckles of your fingers towards the ground. It opens your shoulders. Just enjoy that stretch. Opening your shoulders opens the tops of the lungs. And then release your hands and use your fingers to slide down the back of your legs. Hands on the ground. And then step your left foot back. Left knee goes on the ground. Right knee goes back. I'll keep to a more classic cat. Cow. So dipping your back, cat. Rounding your back as you breathe out. Chin comes to chest, cow. Inhaling, dipping your back, cat. And breathing out, rounding, chin to chest, cow. Carry on rounding, tucking your toes. Maybe bring your hands back towards you to support you. Lifting one knee and then the other, pushing back into a soft downward dog. Feel that your knees can be bent and your feet as wide as you need them to be. Bend your knees, straighten them, your heels are aiming to the ground, they don't have to touch it. Bend your knees, your legs come along your back, and straighten, and then you can walk the dog if you want to, optionally, or just stay static. And enjoy this upside down rejuvenator. Really has so many benefits, downward dog. And then very gently bend both knees, come back to kneeling on all fours. And this time your hands go to the right to allow your left foot to come up. Hands either side of your left foot. Tuck your back toes under. Lift up your right knee. Abdomen comes in to support your back. And step your right foot towards your left foot. Feet are together. Hands go onto the shins as you inhale. Lengthen the long spine. Breathing out, bend your knees and elbows go out to the side. Breathing in, press your hands into your shins as you lengthen. And stay here as you breathe out. And then press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra. Standing. Carrying on to raise your hands up. Either look ahead, the neck, or just if your neck will enjoy that to look up, either stretching the fingers and breathing out, lower your hands. And then just lifting and rolling your shoulders. Bringing your hands once more to your chest, the center, and bending your knees as you roll back down, coming to sitting on your bottom. And then we're going to come to knees bent. A pose called bridge or Dvipadipita, which is 2 foot support. And so you are coming to on your elbows, your knees are bent, feet are hip width apart, your palms are palms down. Just take an in and an out breath and just check that the back of your neck is long. If you press your feet into the ground, lift your bottom physically off the ground a little bit and bend your elbows, raising your arms up above your head. Your chin tucks in and you raise your bottom as little or as much as you would like. Your arms go behind you. Breathing out, lower your arms and lower your back and bottom back down to the ground, vertebra by vertebra. Hug your knees into your chest. Raise the soles of the feet to the ceiling and slide your hands inside your thighs, just holding above the knees. You're in a V, you extend your heels. Bend your knees, hugging your knees once more into your chest. And breathing out, return your feet, supporting your legs back down to the ground. And then your hands go palms down. Take a recovery breath. And when you're ready, press your feet into the ground. Lift your bottom, begin to lift your arms up above you, chin tucks in. You lift as little as much as you would like. Breathing out, lower your arms and lower your bottom back down to the ground. And when they are back onto the ground, lift your knees in towards your chest. Raise the soles of your feet to the ceiling in a V. Hands drop to the inside of your thighs. Bend your knees and then stretch them out to the ceiling again. And then bend your knees again, hugging them once more into the chest. And breathing out, lower your feet back down to the ground. And resting your hands on your abdomen. Just gently let your knees move from side to side. Gracefully wiping your knees. And then bring your knees to the center. And then very, very gently rolling onto your tummy. So we don't often do this. And come into a very gentle Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose is very good for the back, but and it's strengthening for the back, and it's very supportive. So your elbows can be comfortably away from you. Look down at the ground, and there's nothing for you to do. Just play with your elbows to. The further you move them away from you, the lower you'll go, and the less the angle on your lower back. If you feel that your lower back really is troubling you today, then place your hands one on top of the other and just rest your forehead on your hands. And that's hardly moving your back at all. But otherwise, bring your elbows in. And this, in some yoga practices, is a restorative pose. So you would stay here for up to 5 minutes. You're looking down or you're looking along the floor. There's no disturbance to your neck at all. And then very, very gently let your elbows slide out to the side. And now make a pillow with your hands, so one hand on top of the other. Drop your forehead on top of your hands. You can turn your head to the side or just look down. Widen your knees a little bit apart. Bend your knees so that the soles of your feet go to the ceiling. And now a windscreen wiper wash, so you're just gently floating your feet from side to side. Again, it should be pleasant on your lower back. You can swing your legs so that you're gently exploring the space along your lower back. Again, you're supported at this time on your front. And then very gently release your legs back down to the ground. Roll to your right. We're going to come up slightly differently. You can have your right arm up in front of up outright, and your head can rest on it. Then bend your knees in. Press your left hand down. Press onto your right elbow, just slide up. And come to seated. I am going to have a cross-legged position, but if you don't like crossing your legs, sit with your legs out in front of you. Come to, as we finish the class, to very, very gently closing your eyes, resting your hands on the backs of your knees, and bring your attention to the third eye. So that is, if you go up between your eyebrows, a little dent at the center of your forehead. Your hands can be palms down on your knees, palms up, or just resting in your lap, however that suits you. And as you bring your focus here to the third eye, breathing in through the third eye, and imagine the energy balancing you, and breathing out through the third eye. Breathing in and breathing out through the third eye. It's your center of knowledge, also your center of intuition. So it calms, it's calming for the day ahead, it focuses on creativity. You balance the left and the right sides of your body today. Breathing in and breathing out. And now dropping your attention to the base of your spine, or even beyond the base of your spine. And as you breathe in, mentally say to yourself, so. And as you breathe out, mentally say, Breathing in at the base of your spine, so. And breathing out, And move your attention a little bit further up along the inside of your spine, between the base and the navel. And let your attention settle here. It's different for everyone. Breathing in mentally so, through that point, and breathing out breathing in so, and breathing out mentally say And let your attention just travel up along the inside of the spine, behind the navel. And once again, breathing in here, so, breathing out breathing in so, and breathing out and moving your attention along the inside of the spine up to behind the heart, chest area. Breathing in so, breathing out so. Breathing in so, and breathing out. And moving along to the throat. Once again, breathing in so, breathing out, breathing in so, and breathing out. And moving back to the third eye, where we started. Again, breathing in so, breathing out, breathing in so, and breathing out. And then releasing your focus and bringing your hands together at your heart center. Raising your hands to your third eye, slight bow for yourself, and dropping your hands once more back to the heart center. Take a bow for yourself today, and thank you very much for being with us today. Namaste.